It is March 17th, Sunday, and today my brother is coming into town, and I'm gonna go pick him up at the airport. He's coming and staying with me for 2 weeks. Yeah, straight from France. You know, it's my half brother. I have the same dad, but not the same mom. And we get along great. He's kind of like my best friend, but we're both estranged from her dad. And so I know that we're going to talk about her dad a lot. So it's coming up. It is Monday, March 18, and today I had therapy. I also had a very long conversation with my brother about her dad, and a couple things came up. So he's my half brother. We have the same dad, but not the same mom. And I grew up with my mom, he grew up with his mom, and I grew up extremely poor, but he grew up extremely wealthy. So it was this weird thing when we would see each other where, like, you know, he had all the coolest clothes, and, you know, he got to learn how to play an instrument, and he got put into sports, and, you know, and my clothes were bought at thrift stores, and I barely had any money to do anything, so I wasn't doing sports or anything like this. Then when we grew older, because of some drug problem on my mom's side, I had to leave and move in with her dad. And her dad, who used to be this very cool and kind man when we saw him like once every 2 weeks on the weekends, all of a sudden became, like, you know, my full-time parents, and I was living with him, and he wasn't very nice. I guess it's much harder to, you know, be a certain way. It's easier to be a certain way when it's only 2 days out of the month, but it's much harder when it's like every day. And so my dad kind of became like very, very strict with me, and something that didn't help the relationship was, you know, I came out as gay, and I remember him saying, like, fuck, like, why'd you have to be a faggot? And it's kind of like this thing of, like, I'm sorry, like, I didn't choose this, you know? And so I think that, like, because of that, he was much harder on me than he was on my brother. And so although we both estranged from our dad, we have a very different relationship, probably for two reasons. One, because we come from different socioeconomic backgrounds, where, like, you know, my dad had to pay for everything for me, and he was very resentful at that. Whereas, like, his mom, my brother's mom, could pay for him to do whatever. And the other thing is also, you know, my dad's kind of machismo a little bit, right? Like, comes from like French Algerian descent and a little bit Middle Eastern. So, like, there's this thing. So we don't have the same relationship, you know. Whereas, like, my brother would like to have a relationship with her dad, where I'm very okay nuts talking to him. Anyway, I hope it's not TMI. Wednesday, March 20th, I'm leaving school, my advertising class, and as I stepped out, as a kid, was in one of my other class, and he was eating, and he told me that he just was breaking Ramadan. And so we, like, chatted for a bit, and, you know, he told me about, like, what he wants to do work-wise, and we get to talk about, like, Silver Lake a little bit, and we get to talk about Echo Park because I live close to it. But yeah, I think that is an interesting thing about identity, in the sense that, like, I'm part Middle Eastern, but of Jewish descent. So you know, I've been to Algeria, where my family is from, and like, although I am part Middle Eastern, I don't necessarily feel connected to the culture because of my family's religious heritage. So yeah. Friday, March 22, just got to the gym, and someone asked me if I work here, and although I used to, don't anymore. And there's this little thing that's like, I used to run this place, and I'm just like everybody else. Doesn't feel great. Okay, it is Saturday, March 23rd. I just came back from a wedding with my partner. And it was a gay wedding, and a big theme of that gay wedding was, you know, fully being yourself and basically being embraced for who you are, right? And partner got really emotional, cried a few times, and I get emotional because I saw those grooms' mom walking them down the aisle, and my family will never do that. They won't, simply because they don't really accept me for who I am, and it made me really sad, but also blessed to, you know, have a new family, a newfound family. It's my partner and my dog and friends who have gay weddings. All right, after talking to my partner, there's something that was really funny too. Some guys asked us how we met, and my partner and I met in AA, right? And we say this to this guy who was kind of drunk, and he goes, "I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that." It's like you had a gay wedding, like you know, like chill, like it's all good. But yes, coming out as gay, or coming out as a sober member of Alcoholics Anonymous, I guess coming out is kind of like a theme in my life. It's definitely something that comes up a lot, right? Coming out as French, because people don't assume that I'm French, or as a student because I'm too old to be a student. Not necessarily too old, but that reminds me. That reminds me. One of the first interaction I had in college was this kid who asked me, like, you know, how old I was, and I was like, I'm 32. He's like, that's what's up. That's what's up. It's never too late. It's like, what? Like, I'm only 32. It's not too late. What would you say that? It is March 25th. I am playing this JRPG, so it's a Japanese role-playing game, and there's a French character in it. But it's kind of a caricature. So the way he speaks English is like this.
I love the culture of Nihon. Japan is sugoi. Amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of cringe. I don't like that this is how French people are portrayed. Because this is not how I speak English. And yeah, he's also like, he's a very effeminate character. He's obviously, like, it's implied that he's gay, but it's not said, and it's just, yeah, I don't know, it's not great. Tuesday, March 26th, I am leaving class. We had a business communication class, and something that we had to do was to do an elevator pitch to classmates about asking them to hang out during spring break next week. And the guy who pitched to me was like, oh, like, you know, I'd like to hang out next week, blah, blah, blah. You know, I have a feeling like we both work out, and we could go out and, like, you know, hunt for ladies. And it's like, oh yeah, like, no. I don't do that. You know, but what's funny is that, like, when it was my turn to do the elevator pitch, I could have simply like say like, oh, like I'd love to hang out next week. Maybe we can go out dancing in West Hollywood, like, or maybe we could go hunt out for some boys. But I didn't, you know, because I don't know. I guess it would be perceived as I didn't want to embarrass him. You know. It's Sunday, the 31st. It is Easter. I went to a Sunday party with a lot of sober people, and this guy walks in kind of late. He's barely sober, and he goes to hug my partner, and he actually like my partner goes to hug that guy, and he pushes him away, and he goes like, oh, don't hug me, I just worked out, I smell bad. And then he looks at me and goes like, but you're married to a Frenchman, so I guess you're used to that. And that was supposed to be a joke, I guess, but like, I don't know this guy like this, like, and the casual racism, like French people smell bad, like that really like sucked, you know? And I was like, what are you saying? You know, it's like, oh, you never heard this? That like French people smell bad? I was like, it's not the point. It's like, why would you say this? Like, this is so like disrespectful. Like, I don't know you like this, you know? And it's super awkward and weird, and yeah.